All right, welcome to the 9th episode of Downtime Podcast, where two coworkers talk about video games. My name's Alyssa.
And I'm Jeremy.
This is going to be a slightly different episode. This is the first time we're not recording this at work.
Yeah.
And we're recording this actually on Discord for the very first time.
Yep.
Yeah, this is actually the first time I've even used Discord at all.
But you like it so far?
I do like it so far. Like you said, it's like a Slack for video gaming, and it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I think I do slightly like this more than Twitch. So at least like in like the 5 minutes that I've been messing around with this.
Oh no, it's great. It's really great. And
yeah.
If anyone from Discord is listening, please sponsor us. I'm just kidding.
Okay, by the way, really random. So I was listening to a different podcast.
Yeah.
Like when I was commuting to work, and did you know that podcasts are sponsored by Denny's now?
What?
Yeah, Denny's friggin' has ads on podcasts.
What? That's so cool. I didn't know Denny's did that.
Like, cause you think like with podcast ads, it's a lot of things that haven't been discovered yet, or a lot of like startups.
Mm-hmm.
But no, Denny's has an ad now.
Damn, Denny's on point.
Yeah, so that was pretty funny when I heard that for the first time.
Yeah, that's really cool.
So before we start off, we just wanted to say, yes, we know we haven't had any new content for a really long time. And we're both very, very sorry about that. Yeah, it's just, for us, May was a pretty ridiculous month in just like our work lives and our regular lives. Specifically for work, this is Q2 is probably one of the busiest quarters we have because we're trying to make a bunch of deadlines by June, and just things got completely caught up. We had to reschedule so many times. Like, we couldn't record at work because either one of us had to like go home early, or one of us had to work late, or there was a meeting that ran over, that type of thing, until finally finally for the first time we're actually recording at home.
Yep. And it's fine. I mean, I like this setup. I think it's really nice.
I do. And it sounds a lot nicer as well recording at home.
Yeah. Also, can I address something real quick, Alyssa, about some questions that we might have had? Maybe we can answer them at the end of the podcast.
Yes, go for it.
You guys submitted some questions, and Alyssa and I can answer them at the very end of the podcast. That's it.
Yeah, this is which, by the way, this is the first in this whole like 3-4 week span that we haven't put out anything. This was the first time we've received emails from a few of you about questions, as well as a bunch of comments saying, when are you two coming back? And we really appreciate it. Like, this wasn't something that we were ignoring, of course. It's just we got caught up in our lives, and we're definitely back now, and June's gonna be a lot better.
Yeah, well, we're still here. We're still kicking it.
Yes.
Don't worry.
Yes. Yeah, don't worry. We're still here.
We're not going anywhere.
We're not going anywhere until you leave in July.
Yeah, well, we'll talk about that later. We can talk about that later.
Okay. Jeremy's leaving in July
living
for
out my
Japan.
Yakuza fantasy. Anyways, so on our agenda today.
Yes. Okay, so since so many weeks have passed, God, there's a lot that we need to talk about. So first, what I wanted to say is, before we go, is one, the two of us, since you last heard, we have actually finished Yakuza 0. I am currently editing the podcast, the spoilercast, for that entire game, where Jeremy and I dedicate 30 minutes to just talking specifically about the storyline.
That's right.
And yes, and I'm still editing that. And that is probably like the last time you will hear about Yakuza 0 or the Yakuza series until the next one comes out.
Yep, and that will be in August. At the end of August, I believe, is when Yakuza Kiwami, again, a remake of Yakuza 1, is going to come out.
Yes. Going to our agenda. First, Jeremy, games coming out or that have come out since we've last talked.
Oh, man. See, since I've been so busy, I haven't been
I
keeping
know.
up too much, so I can't say anything about the sector right now. I mean, if you want to elaborate, I'm sorry, I can't help you, but I can comment on the games that have been announced. Oh, actually, I know one. Far Cry 5. That's one.
Yeah.
I know that for sure. Damn it. I'm messing up. I'm already messing up today.
Yes.
Far Cry 5. I played the crap out of Far Cry 4. I did not play Far Cry Primal. But I really loved Far Cry 4. Overall, I just love the Far Cry series. And when I heard that they announced Far Cry 5 that was set in Montana, surprisingly, I was like, oh yeah, sure. I'm really down to play this.
Is it really set in Montana?
It is. I believe it's set in the present day or something close to it. I thought you'd be. Everyone was speculating that you'll be a cowboy. So I think it was like 3 years ago that Ubisoft sent out a survey to the mass public asking what kind of game they want to see next in the Far Cry franchise. One of them was a cowboy-themed, bit like Western setting game. Another one was like a Jurassic Park style game with dinosaurs on an island, and I really, really wanted that one. And then
I would rather have had that one, I think, just because it seems more in line with the actual Far Cry series.
Oh no, totally.
Not that I don't mind them going to Montana, but you know.
Oh yeah, no, I understand. I mean,
Yeah.
Far Cry has always been on an island or something like an island. Minus two. 2 was set in Africa, so that's a little bit different. But 3, like 1, 3, all the mini games that were for the Xbox, and then Blood Dragon and everything else is except for 4 and Primal. But it was mostly set on an island. And when you think of Far Cry, you think of an island setting almost. So I think this is a really good departure from the series, but I think I like the setting. We'll see. I don't know how it's going to play out, but the characters definitely look interesting.
Hope County, Montana. I just Googled it.
Yep, that's it.
Interesting. Yeah. I know that game's coming out. I think I've only played the first 2 Far Cries before.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but I am interested in playing this in the future. I don't have much to comment on, though, just because.
I watched the trailer, and I was like, oh, this looks cool. And I was like, oh, no, they're entering the Far Cry series. Like, why not?
I think since we've last talked, actually a bunch of games got delayed. First one coming to mind, Red Dead Redemption 2.
Oh, yeah. I saw that.
That game got delayed now to I think March 2018 or spring 2018. I mean,
people were upset about that, and I understand.
I was upset about that. I was very.
No, go ahead. Sorry.
I think the reason I'm upset about that is because a lot of games that I was excited to play have been delayed, and I'm sure they delayed it for a good reason.
Yeah, and that's what I was gonna say.
I would hope.
Oh no, totally.
I would hope so.
Yeah. I wasn't too upset about it. Well, because I believe that I want them to make a quality game instead of rushing a release. Looking at you, Ubisoft, I don't want them to rush anything, and I want them to make a really good game. And so I think they, like you said, did this for a good reason. I mean, I feel like developers are learning from the past. Like, we've had our fair share of broken games, especially in the Assassin's Creed series. Those games are notorious for being broken. At least they were in the past. Yeah. And then Ubisoft really looked to their developers and they tried to fix it and make sure that games didn't go unbroken, because like everyone's trying to follow that PC model where when you release a game, it's okay if it's broken because they can still fix it later. So the faster that they release it, the more money they can make. And I don't think that's a really good mindset to have, especially if you're a longtime fan of a certain series and you play a game and it's broken immediately.
I don't think that's a good mindset to have if the game is based off of a storyline or a first-person campaign. I think that mindset is probably better if it's constantly multiplayer. But if it's something where you're immersing yourself into the story, I would rather not have that have bugs.
Yeah, no, I agree.
I have no doubt, though, that with this delay, Red Dead Redemption 2 is going to be pretty awesome.
Oh, yeah. No, I'm really looking forward to it. I did not play the first one, and I'm disappointed I didn't.
I suppose it's not too late to play the first one. Now you have until spring next year to play the first one.
But I hope it comes out remastered or something on the PS4. That'll be fun.
Oh, I see.
I mean, I think they would.
I wouldn't be surprised. That game was really popular when it came out in 2010. I think it still has a following. Kind of like how Grand Theft Auto 5 came out, I think, in 2013.
Right.
And that game is still played and talked about.
Yeah, they always come out with new updates for it.
I know.
There's always like DLC for multiplayer, and they always focus on the multiplayer part of the game because that's where the most of the money comes from. So like these little kids buy the shark cards for like $200, and now they have like $8 million worth of in-game cash, and then they just spend it within the game.
The South Park game is also delayed now to fall.
Right.
In terms of games that have come out, so Tekken 7 came out last Friday.
Yeah, how is that?
Oh, well, let me tell you, I don't have it yet.
Are you gonna get it?
So I originally pre-ordered it, and I pre-ordered like the collector's edition of it, because this is presumably the last, if not the last Tekken game, this is the last Tekken game that's focusing on these characters that you're seeing.
Oh yeah, I remember you mentioned this to me before.
Yeah, and wraps up that entire Mishima storyline. Now, God, the reason I actually canceled the pre-order is so that I wouldn't be tempted, because I'm super behind on a lot of games.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm currently trying to put a dent in a game, and I just knew that if I had Tekken, that I wouldn't be able to finish that game for a really long time. I'm finishing Persona 5, then I'm going to buy Tekken, hoping to finish that by the end of June.
Good luck.
So that I can play Tekken in July. But the thing is, I have played Tekken 7 in the arcade, and it's cool. Have I ever told you the story about that?
No.
Okay, so at Dave and Buster's, I'm watching like some 10-year-old kid play Tekken 7, and the way that it's set up, because now arcades are a lot fancier, is instead of sharing one screen, you actually had your own separate screen. Oh. So there were 2 monitors for Tekken.
That's kind of cool, actually.
Yeah, and so a kid was playing on one of them, and the other one was completely blank. So what I thought was, one of them is empty. I can just play that on my own and not start a fight with this kid. And start a battle with this kid. And so I enter the coin, you swipe the card, and it turns out that when you do, you actually start a versus battle with the person next to you, even though it's 2 different monitors.
My God.
Yeah, and so it's a freaking 10-year-old kid, and I actually interrupt his current battle, by the way.
Oh, no.
Yeah, and I did it, like, this was all unintentional. I was like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. I look at him, and I tell him, yeah, I'm sorry, that was a complete accident. I just wanted to play my own game. And then I beat him.
Oh, shit. You opened up a can of whoop-ass on him, huh?
I did.
God damn, Alyssa.
I really did.
Unmerciful justice.
I felt bad for him, but I really did kick his ass, though. He kind of, when I started, there was no way he could win. And he just gives me this look like, why did you do that? And in my eyes, all I could tell him was, that was an accident. I swear that was an accident. I didn't want to beat you.
Yeah, you just want to play it by yourself.
I didn't want to beat you, but I beat you. It's kind of one of those things. But I really did just want to play by myself. I totally did not want to play with other people.
Makes sense.
And yes, I felt really bad. So I kicked that kid off, and then I actually just proceeded to beat the game, to beat the arcade mode. I went all the way, and I beat the final boss.
Oh, wow. That's pretty cool, actually.
Yeah, and so that's the first time I ever played Tekken 7.
Wow, what a first time, huh? Beating up a little kid, and then taking the spot. I ruined
a 10-year-old kid's dream, and now this kid is never going to play Tekken 7 ever again.
Or he's on a death hunt for you.
Oh, God, I know. So I can never go to that Dave & Buster's ever again.
He's going to be there and waiting for you. I've been waiting years for you, Alyssa.
I know. 15 years from now.
Oh, my goodness.
It's you!
Yeah, it's you.
And then me, I'm just like, who? Who are, I'm sorry, who are you? And he goes, I'm that one kid. Oh, shit.
Yeah.
And then at that point, it'll be like Tekken 20 Infinite Reloaded. So.
Oh my, Alpha Edition or something.
I know.
It's like, God okay.
So yeah, that's basically what's gonna happen. I do intend on playing Tekken 7, but I have a lot of self-control in in halting this game, and which is weird because I usually don't. Mm-hmm. And I think another reason is because I don't want to charge $60 on me right now. I can wait.
Oh, for real? I understand.
Yeah. It is just at a basic level. It's very pretty. It's your typical fighter. I I only played arcade mode, so I can't really tell you much else about it. But I'm doing a quick Google search. This game can be played in 4K, and it got a 9 out of 10. Wow.
Wow.
This is actually probably the highest rated Tekken I've seen since Tekken 4, I think. Yeah, because Tekken 3 was probably the highest rated one that I've known, and then Tekken 4 took a dip. Tekken 5 was better than 4, but still not as good as 3, and then looks like 7 brought it back. So, and that's all I have about games coming out.
I have something. Sonic Mania.
Go for it. Sonic Mania.
Yeah, do you know about that one, Alyssa?
I don't know about that one. I didn't even know there was a new Mania coming out, or Sonic coming out.
There's a game called Sonic Mania. It's coming out on August 15th. It's developed it's not developed by Sega, actually. It's developed by another third-party studio called give me a second. It's called Headcanon and Pagoda West. Those are the two game developers.
I've never heard of those before.
Yeah, I've never heard of them either, but they're making the Sonic game. It's in the style of the Sega Genesis era. So I think it's really cool.
Okay, got it.
Yeah. And I think it's really cool. It's there's a lot of hype surrounding it.
Playing into that nostalgic feel, I'm assuming.
They had a bunch of advertisements for the game, and they were all they all had this 80s look to it, and the 4:3 ratio cropped camera, and then they had a Sega Genesis, and it was really cool. And I think it was really clever, and hopefully this game does well. It's promising to be one of the best Sonic games in a long time, since the past Sonic 3D games have sucked, according to a lot of fans. And I'm actually kind of looking forward to this game, but I haven't really played Sonic games in a long time, since Sonic Generations, which came out in 2012, I think. Yeah. Another release.
It's nostalgic. It's nostalgic as fuck.
Yeah,
Holy
you see
crap.
the poster, right? Look at the poster.
Yeah, I see it, and I know.
Oh my god, this looks like a Sega Genesis game.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I mean, I like what they did with the artwork and just the graphics overall. It really looks like a Sega Genesis game. I grew up playing Sonic. I think I mentioned this in a podcast
Yeah,
before.
you have.
And on the Genesis, and so this really reminds me of those games on the Genesis. So it's good to see that Sonic's going back to its roots. And then the last one is Star Wars Battlefront 2, which comes out on November 17th.
Yes. So we did talk about that on the previous podcast, but now that time's passed and there's more things that have been released, I definitely want to talk more about it. Maybe after E3, we'll see what happens.
Yep.
If they do any more trailers or press releases for it.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
And speaking of E3,
yes.
maybe we can move on to the next segment.
Yes. So, E3 is happening in 2 weeks. And
Yay.
as expected, there's going to be some new press conferences with new shit coming out.
Maybe we'll see an update on Final Fantasy VII Remake.
Oh my god. Okay, so did I read it on IGN or Polygon? Either way, I think they said that they might not focus on that at this E3, and that they are delaying it to next year. Yeah, but I don't think they're gonna I don't know if that's gonna be a focus for Square Enix.
Yeah, I think they're busy
at this conference.
Maybe they'll talk about Kingdom Hearts 3 then. I don't know.
Oh God.
You're already complaining.
I am complaining. I'm complaining because I'm oh God, this is gonna come out in 2020. I don't even know anymore.
We'll see. Maybe they'll have a demo, a playable demo at E3.
Maybe. That would be pretty amazing if they can pull that off.
Right.
They're gonna put out a lot of God of War stuff at E3.
Yes.
The new one that's coming out.
New God of War.
Yes, and then Xenoblade are two that I know for sure.
Mm-hmm.
This is kind of been rumored, but I think they're going to do a lot of Elder Scrolls updates too. And I think they're going to announce a lot of them at E3.
Oh,
but
cool.
I don't know what that would entail.
Yeah, I haven't really been following the news on E3. But hopefully something good will come out of E3 that I will find interesting.
If you think about it, E3 is the conference where you find about things that are coming out 3 years later.
It's like coming out. I mean, we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah.
I mean, hopefully there'll be some surprises, like some really good surprises. Maybe Fallout 5 and Elder Scrolls 6 or something. We'll see.
Yeah.
You know.
So we'll see. We'll see what happens.
Looking forward to it.
There's each press conference. There's always like 3 things that are secret per like company.
Totally.
Yeah.
I mean, let's see what Nintendo brings out too. Maybe they'll bring out some more Super Mario Odyssey for the
okay.
Switch.
Yeah. And then next on our agenda is games that we're playing.
Yes.
And I don't know if you want to. We can switch off. I have 2 games to talk about.
Okay, I can go first.
Go for it.
The first game I'm playing is actually an older game. I bought it from GameStop recently. It's actually Just Cause 3.
Really?
For the PS4.
Oh, wow.
Came out in 2015. I played the second one. I love the second one. It was great. That was a really good game. I'm like not even halfway through the game yet since I'm still on the first 2 islands. And I will say that I don't really like the game so far. It's the frame rate is really low. Like there are times when the frame rate is just horrible. I was driving in a car one time and going at max speed, and suddenly the game like started glitching, and then it stopped, and then it broke, and then the game crashed on me. That only happened once so far.
Oh shoot!
Yeah, just from driving in a car, I was like, "Oh my god, this game is horrible." And yeah, there are times when there's times when there's too much action on, and the game will just stutter. Like the frame rate will drop.
Oh, that really sucks.
It dropped to like 20 frames per second, or even less. I was like, "This game is horrible." Yeah, it sucked so much, and I had high hopes for this game.
I feel like if something glitched that much and it wasn't fixed, I'd probably stop playing it.
I bought it. I'm trying to finish it. I mean, it was $20. It came out 2 years ago. I think at this point they should have addressed the fixes, but here's the reason why the game is like this so far. It's because the developers bought out this this small studio in New York, and this studio isn't used to developing games on this scale since this game is much bigger than the second one that came out in 2011. So they had like 6 years to prepare for this game. Not 6 years, sorry. They came out in 2015. They had 4 years to prepare for this game. And yeah, it's just so far, the story isn't really engaging. The characters are easily forgettable. The action is probably the best part. I will say the pros about this game are that visually it looks amazing. The explosions, when things blow up, look amazing.
Oh yeah, definitely. I've seen a lot of videos on it.
Yeah, and the physics are really cool too. Like you can hook things up together using like this grappling hook, and you can tether 2 things together and then like make them spin around, or like just creative ways to destroy things. I think what this game's selling point is.
Got it.
Yeah. Overall, there are more cons than there are pros about this game, and I don't really like it that much. And I'm sorry if there are some listeners who do like the game, but for me personally, I don't think I will be talking about this as much as I did Yakuza in the past.
That's okay.
Go ahead. You can go with your...
All right. The next game... so one of the 2 games that I'm playing right now is Starbound. And... God, I am so freaking addicted to Starbound. And for people who played Terraria before, this is the next game. Or I guess, like... It's like a Terraria, except you can go to more worlds than normal. And also, what I really like about it is that Chucklefish made the tools a lot easier for building.
Oh, what console are you playing on?
I'm out. Oh, I just got this on Steam, so PC.
Nice.
Yes, it is great. I love that game, and it feels there's so many infinite possibilities. That's what I love about building and creating games. Just that I could do whatever the hell I want, and there's just so much variety in this game.
Oh, really?
Like for example, I haven't gotten this far, but you can visit. So you obviously start off in like a earthy planet, like with forest and lush, that type of thing. and then you can go, and then eventually, so this not really like storyline, or there is a storyline. You are a person. You are like your creature. You can choose whatever race you are, and your ship breaks, and you have to fix. Yeah, you have to fix your ship, and you're first given this area, this planet that's more Terraria like. And then what you have to do is you have to go mining and find different things for your ship. Eventually you're going to reach like a teleporter, and then the teleporter will lead you to a first mission where you find a mechanic who will fix your ship if you find like this certain type of crystal. And then after you complete that, after you beat the monster and you give him the crystal, your ship can just go anywhere. So you can go in like the tundra. There's like ocean planets where you're just underwater the entire time. There's lava planets. There's like planets where like the ground has like eyes and stuff, and it's like an eye troll race.
What the heck? That
it's like
so cool.
I know, it is freaking awesome, and and I am like slowly like colonizing everything in my save, and I'm like building like houses and all different types of things in each planet that I visit, and yeah, I freaking love this game. I think just how it is right now, it's definitely a lot better than Terraria in certain ways. And just that it's bigger and better than its predecessor. On top of that, the guy is constantly doing updates, and there's a lot of mods that you can do to this game. So, yeah, it's just awesome. Pretty awesome. You should really check it out.
We need to add each other on Steam first of all. We'll do that after this.
Yeah. I feel like we had a podcast about that, and then I forgot, or like
no worries.
It just completely dropped off.
Well, since we're on the computer already, we'll do that after we record this podcast.
Right.
Yeah.
Sounds great.
Yep.
Yes, and yeah, I think it's only $15 too.
Yeah, I need to buy that.
It's $15, and the amount of things you can do at $15 in this game is just out of this world, quite literally.
Haha, I see what you did.
I'm so fucking hilarious.
God damn it. Yeah, I'm actually waiting for the Steam Summer Sale, so I'll pick it up and maybe we can play together.
Dude, sounds great. Sounds good. It's amazing.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
I've been waiting for the game to develop a little bit more before I bought it, because I wanted it, when I first heard of it, it was still in early access, and I'm really iffy about early access games on Steam.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I hopefully now, from what you're telling me, it sounds like you're having a really fun experience, and I had a really good time playing Terraria, but I feel like I did everything and anything that there is to do in Terraria, and I feel like I want more. Well, at the time, I feel like I wanted more, so now that I know that there's a game that is better than Terraria in a lot of ways, then I think I'll purchase that during the next summer Steam sale.
Yes, do it.
Sounds good.
Oh, actually, hold on. I just did a quick Google search. So, actually, Starbound and Terraria are different developers, but one of the workers like did the same project. I'm like doing a quick search right now.
Yeah, no worries.
Yeah. Let's see.
But it looks very similar, you know?
Yeah. Oh yeah, they're very, very similar in style. Okay, got it. So, they're both published by two different companies, but it's the same developer. Or the same, like, lead developer for both games, I think.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, so that's why I think the style is very similar, that type of thing.
Very cool, very cool.
Yes.
Okay. Well, I think I really want to pick this up, because you can play online, and I think that's really cool.
Yes, you can.
I want this game. Yeah, during the next Steam Summer Sale, I will pick this up, which should be soon. It should be coming out sometime this month.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
That's all I have to talk about with Starbound.
Sure.
Yes.
I'd like to talk about Yooka-Laylee a little bit.
Oh yeah, how much farther are you now in that game?
I haven't progressed any farther, and I will tell you why. So.
All right.
Like 2 weeks ago, a week ago, a buddy and I were talking about Yooka-Laylee. He came over to stay over at my place, and we were talking about ukulele. We put it on the TV. We were both hyped to continue playing it because we were both really, really good, like really, really big Banjo-Kazooie fans. And as I mentioned in a previous podcast, Banjo-Kazooie is a game that is near and dear to my heart, as it is many others.
Yes.
I also mentioned that I was disappointed by the game and the quality of what the game was, and just overall how it was trying to mimic exactly what they had with Banjo-Kazooie. And in some instances, lightning does not strike twice, and this is one of those instances. My friend and I were playing it. I let him have the controller, and he was silent for 5 minutes, just running around playing the game. And I was just like, I was silent too. I wanted to know what he thought about it. After 5 minutes, he broke his silence. He said, "Wow, this game is not good." I was like, "Yeah, this game doesn't really fill the void for those people who wanted to play Banjo-Kazooie or have the similar experience." And we came to the conclusion that if you want to play Banjo-Kazooie or something like it, honestly, just go back and play Banjo-Kazooie. If you own an N64, find a copy of it on eBay and play it. Or if you already own it, just replay the game. If you own an Xbox One or 360, play the game there. Honestly, yeah, I am a little disappointed by this game. I backed it on Kickstarter. That was the only project I've ever backed in my entire life. I spent $24 US, 15 British pounds on it. Yeah, and I am disappointed.
15 British pounds down the drain.
It is. I had to watch the tenner go down the drain. Oh. But regardless, other people love this game. The reviews are really mixed. There are people that really like this game, but there are people that don't like this game. So, unfortunately, or fortunately, I fall in line with the people that don't really like this game. And what can I say? It's just something that everyone has an opinion about.
Yeah. And so more than likely, you're probably not going to finish it.
I don't think I'm going to pick it up again for a while. I need someone to sit down and make me play it, or I have to have someone witness me play it. I can't play it by myself because I feel sad when I play it by myself. I'm like, this game is just not good.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's all I have to say about ukulele for now.
I mean, it is what it is. Sometimes games just don't live up to the hype.
Yeah, Just Cause 3, ukulele, man. I picked some really bad games. Oh, well.
No, it's okay. It's okay.
Oh, yeah. Totally. May I talk about an experience of a game that I did play? Because I figured out what MMORPG I played before.
Oh, in the beginning of the podcast.
Yeah, I figured it out.
Go for it.
So, a long time ago, in the year 2011... I dated this girl that was really into online multiplayer games, and she got me into this one game called Grand Fantasia. And Alyssa, I want you to look up this game. I want you to Google it right now and tell me what you think about it.
God,
because you will not expect me to play this kind of game.
Interesting. You said this is a JRPG?
It's not really a JRPG. It's more like a third-person RPG that's styled after an anime.
Okay, because I was about to say...
Or just anime style.
I was about to say, you know how I feel about JRPGs.
I do know how you feel, yeah.
Let's see. Oh, this is very interesting.
It's not a game that I would play,
huh. Yeah. It's actually very not what I expected. I expected, like, for some reason, when you said Grand Fantasia, I expected something like the Tales series, like that type of...
Yeah.
Like, that type of, animation, but yeah, this is slightly...
It's different.
It's definitely different.
Yep.
So tell me, Jeremy, in this MMORPG, let's see, I'm on Google Images, I see a spider, I see a bunch of people in yukatas, I see people on a spaceship, on a pirate ship. And I see, like, a lot of very cutesy... Like, it's very cute looking, for sure.
Yeah.
Like, they definitely went down the cute route for this one.
Yep.
Not to say that there's anything wrong with that. This is definitely not the type of game you play, though, for sure.
It's not the type of game I expected myself to play.
Yeah.
So, let me go into the story a little bit more. She introduced me to the game. I built my character. She was like level 40, like level 30 something at the time, and she was the type of person that when she got into an MMORPG, she was into it. Like, she used real money to purchase in-game items, that kind of into it. And so,
damn,
yeah, because this is a free-to-play. No, for real though, this is a free-to-play game. And so we would use Mumble to speak to each other. This is before Discord, so we used Mumble, which is a similar like chat service that was free. And she made the Mumble server, which she paid for, by the way, which I was like, oh my god.
Oh god.
Oh yeah, and so she
helped
me.
So unnecessary.
For real though, and she helped me level up. She helped me level up by buying me expensive equipment that I couldn't wear at the time. So I was just holding it in my inventory. We went around, we grinded for hours, just like killing mobs, chatting with other people, making friends, building like large groups of just friends in the community, and by the end of it, we were both level 50, which is pretty high in the game. I think it's like it's one of the like top tier levels. I was like a warlock, and she was like a wizard or something. I forgot what she was. She was like a healer or something. I don't remember. But
okay.
Yeah, by the end of it, I was wearing like a schoolboy uniform. I had Asian like schoolboy looking Japanese hair, and I was riding around. I was riding around in a balloon as my mount, like a hot air balloon. It was the craziest thing, and never in a million years did I think I would ever play this game. And when I go back and I think about it, and now that I'm seeing all the images on Google Images, I'm like, holy crap! I can't believe I played this game, because this game is not me at all. It's insane. Yeah, so go ahead, sorry.
Oh, no. Yeah, like, not to say that you don't play MMORPGs, but the style for sure, this is not your thing.
No, not at all.
Yeah.
It's too cutesy. Too cutesy.
This almost feels like a visual novel.
Yeah, like,
right? And God, I hate visual
novels. Yeah, I don't really consider them games either. I don't even know.
I don't consider them games either. Actually, that's arguable. I think I'm half and half with them.
Yeah,
like,
they don't. So about Grand Fantasia, I actually didn't create a glitch, but I was someone who found a glitch, exploited it, and because of me, they closed off something certain in the game.
Wow!
So it's not that crazy. So I'm sure someone else did it before me, but I was the one that kept doing it, and maybe they caught it and they realized it. So there's this boss that is very hard to beat in the game. Oh, sorry?
Yes. No. Go first. Go first.
So there's a dungeon in the game in one of the towns. If I can remember it off the top of my head, I could say it again. I could remember it, but I don't remember a lot of the details about the game since it was so long ago. There's a dungeon, and there was like this giant demon creature at the end of the dungeon, and if you defeated him, you win the dungeon. But before that, there were like these little like T-Rex kind of dinosaur things, and they did a lot of damage, and you could not kill them because they were just there was a lot of them, first of all, and you needed at least 5 people to complete the dungeon. So my girlfriend at the time and I tried to do it, and we failed like 4 or 5 times, and we realized like, these little creatures at the beginning keep killing us, and every time we try to get to the end boss, he always kills us too. So I came up with an idea, which was to make them kill each other. So what I did was I lured the final boss of the dungeon into the T-Rexes, and the T-Rexes killed the final boss, and then we won the dungeon. And we did this around 5 or 6 times, maybe more, until we got caught and they closed off that part of the dungeon where the T-Rexes are. Well, they didn't really close it off. They just made it so the T-Rexes don't follow you.
Yeah.
And because of that, I think I'm one of the reasons why the dungeon was closed off for that section. And I was like, oh, this is kind of cool. And at the time, I was really proud of myself because I figured out that I could do that. I could just make them fight each other. And I thought that was really cool. But dang. Yeah, that's probably my fondest memory of that game.
I feel like that's the dream, to be one of those people, be the reason why a bunch of developers have to change their game and make things harder for people. Damn. Right? Yeah. Well, I would love to do that one day for sure. Totally. But it's just like, for me, I don't play the type of online. When I play online, it's kind of more like battles or like fighting battles versus like an MMORPG. So I don't know if I'll ever get to that level, but that's awesome. Oh, I'm done. Wow, I'm telling you, that's awesome.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, I haven't really told anyone the story because it wasn't really relevant until now, I guess.
Yeah.
And yeah,
that's
honestly,
hilarious.
Right. I agree with you about like MMORPGs though. It takes a lot of time and energy out of you. There's a lot of things you have to do before you get to the good stuff, and I don't really feel like waiting that long. I feel like I want to play another game and already have some stuff. For example, like fighting games and first-person shooters, some of them you don't have to progress, and you already have the stuff that you need. for fighting games, you don't really need to unlock anything. You already have the characters. You just have to get good at them. With shooters, you can unlock different guns, or you could just keep the guns that you have and get good with those guns. Get good.
Okay.
Get good.
Yeah. Dang.
But yeah, that was my experience playing an MMORPG. I don't really recommend this one in particular. I think my account is still active. I don't know. I don't really want to go back to it.
It's like getting emails. Jeremy. It's like, Jeremy, it's been 2 years since you...
No, get away from me. It's been like 10 years since you logged into your RuneScape account, which I still have my RuneScape account, by the way.
Okay, I'm almost positive that the original email account I used, I deleted for RuneScape, but goddamn.
For real, though.
Like, yeah, my character was great for RuneScape, but dang, I really do think I don't have that account anymore.
Oh, yeah. No, it's okay. I'm sure they still keep all the accounts because they have, like, unlimited server space or something.
Probably. Dang. By the way, this game is made by Area Games, and I think Area Games is actually in San Jose somewhere, or, like, Santa Clara, so that's pretty cool.
Very cool.
I did not know that.
Yeah. A lot of game developers are based in the Bay Area. I think that's
really cool. Oh, yeah. Silicon Valley.
Home of video games?
No? Oh, God.
Yeah. Well, that's all I have to say about games that I've played before and games I'm currently playing.
Cool. So I have one more game that I want to talk about, and that game is Persona 5.
Yay!
So from one long ass game to the next. God, it took maybe 15 hours, or maybe 11 to 15 hours for me to actually get into the game. And I think that, so for one, I don't know, it was a little bit harder for me to grasp a lot of the different things. I feel like there's a lot of elements of the battle system, and there's a lot more places for your character to visit. And the storyline is a little bit like, okay, the Persona series, in the Persona series, the storyline is always convoluted, but this one seemed a lot more convoluted than normal. And it was a lot more difficult for me to understand. So it actually took the first dungeon, not dungeon, they call it a palace in this game. It took a while for me to really get into it. And once I got to the second palace, and once I got the next character to add to my party, that's when I was like, oh shit, this game's awesome, and this game's really cool, because then everything finally clicked, and I finally knew how to approach all these different levels, and figured out a system for me. And now it's like, wow, this game is this game's amazing. I'm having a really good time playing it. But I think the big thing for people who've never played this game before is if you can weather the first 10 hours of it, where it's tutorial mode, and you really, but it's a lot more complicated than what another Persona game would be.
Makes sense.
I think for sure for this Persona game, I would suggest playing another Persona game before you actually play 5, just to get a hang of it and know what the game's like. And
sorry.
Yeah. Oh, and then one more thing I wanted to add is the visuals for this game are really cool. It's extremely artistic. Probably one of the most artistic games that I've played. But it takes the visuals actually take a while to get used to, and it's a little bit hard to read when you're getting acquainted with the game. Now I have no problem reading everything, but everything's just so stylistically done that I'm like, oh, shit, this came by really quickly. Or is that a 7, or is that a 5? I don't know what I'm reading right now.
I feel like this is going back to what you were saying earlier about Persona and how different and difficult it is. I just feel like this is a better step in the right direction for the franchise and the series.
Yeah.
Because no one wants the same thing over and over again.
It's very true. No one wants the same thing. I I mean, obviously, if Persona 5 was like Persona 4, I would play the same. Like, I would play it. I would still enjoy it, but you have to change things up, shake things up, for me to be intrigued as time goes by and as I grow up. So.
No, yeah, I gotcha.
Yeah. I definitely, like I said though, Persona 5, I don't think I would suggest playing that game if you've never played a Persona game before. I would definitely play one of them first before you play this one. Like, any of them.
Gotcha.
Yeah. But, I do enjoy it. It's a lot of fun. And not to say that you can't just go straight into 5. Like, I'm sure you can go straight into 5, but that's just my personal suggestion.
No, yeah, I gotcha.
Yeah. Also, on top of, like, convoluted plots, like, damn, this is, like, as convoluted as it can get.
No.
But, it's extremely difficult to, it's, like, one of those things, like, what the hell? Like, I don't understand this. But then once it clicks, you're like, oh, I get it now. This
is brilliant.
Like, mind blown. Explosion. What else do I have to say about this game?
That it's awesome.
Oh yeah, this game is awesome. There's people in it.
Oh yeah, my favorite people.
Oh yeah. So many people. I think so one thing I find amusing about this game is, although it's different from before, you can very well see where it took from its previous game. For example, there's I think there's a lot of characters in every Persona game. You'll meet, like, I'm not kidding, you'll meet like 20 to 25 characters per game.
Damn.
I know,
wow.
But it's easy to tell, like, they kept like a lot of character tropes. Like,
Okay.
for example, you have the main character. The main character is kind of shy, quiet, but he's like the leader and he's really smart. His best friend is like this really, like, super belligerent, like, talks out of turn type of guy. And you're gonna have, like, the girl who always follows the rules. You have the girl who's more of, like, the rebel. And it's kind of like, I play Persona 5, and I know which character took from what from Persona 4.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it's kind of like, oh, yep, it's like, oh, Ryuji is Yosuke from the previous game, like, like that type of that type of thing. Or like Makoto in Persona 5 is like this other character. It's like, yeah.
It's like they copied and pasted almost. Not really like image
Yeah.
to image, but like they use the same type of character to mold it into something different.
Yeah. If it's not broke, don't fix it, but they also, like, fix it in different ways too.
Gotcha. There's also what you described me also sounds like every anime ever almost.
That is very true. There are some animes that liven things up. Like, I feel like Attack on Titan is definitely not the same. Like, season 2 is definitely not the same as season 1.
Yeah. And what I meant to say was also that every anime ever, I mean, like, every school drama anime.
Oh my god, yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely.
I should have clarified, but yes, that's what I mean. School drama animes always have that.
I think the beauty of Persona 4, when I first played it was on a portable platform. It was on Vita. And it was so convenient, because there's just so many little things, even in between the battling at the different dungeon levels, that you can just do, like, like when you're watching TV or, like, you're on commute, that type of thing. Just the fact that Persona 5 is actually, like, on a console, really difficult to just keep up with it. And it's kind of like, it's one of the reasons why I'm not playing Tekken. It's just like, God, I have to keep going forward with this, or else I'm gonna forget about it.
Yeah.
And it's like not something where I can just pick it up like whenever I want.
Yeah, no, it makes sense. I mean, you want to get your money's worth out of it too,
The Switch and The Legend of Zelda, like, that's probably what makes it easy for a lot of people to finish that game.
Yes.
But it's so difficult for PlayStation games.
Yeah, I mean, they don't really make a lot of Vita games anymore, do they?
They don't.
Oh.
Yeah.
Are they killing it off?
This is like a weird thing. They haven't cut it off yet, but it's like, I think they're just letting it die a slow death.
Oh no.
I know, which is unfortunate. I really do hope they come. I really, really hope that they come out with a portable soon, because this is just not conducive to finishing any sort of game, especially with a JRPG, because goddamn, I think, so on IGN, there's this guy on IGN who loves the Persona series, and I always listen to his podcasts and read his interviews whenever he talks about it. I think Persona.
Shout out to that guy, by the way.
Shout out to that guy. His name is Andrew, by the way.
Shout out to Andrew.
Shout out to Andrew from IGN. So whenever so I think he locked like over 100 hours on that game.
Oh my god.
And I'm just kind of like, well, shit. I'm only at 35 hours, and I'm on 35 hours. I just finished the third dungeon. I'm on the fourth dungeon, or like palace. I think there's 8. So, oh my god. If anyone wants to talk to me about Persona 5, I actually have a lot of things to say about the plot. There's a lot of interesting things going on. Maybe once I get to like the 5th dungeon, if anyone's interested, let me know. If you want to talk to me about it.
Yeah. Let her know. Reach out to us. Comment on whatever platform you're on, and we'll read it.
Yes.
So maybe we could start answering some questions, unless you have another game you want to talk about.
I don't. I think I'm good, actually.
Okay.
Yes. All right. So to end the podcast, we're going to read out a few questions, and we only have 2. But it's like the first time. It's weird. It's like the first time we've ever received questions on our podcast.
Yeah.
And it's pretty exciting, no lie.
Yeah, I'm smiling right now. Thank you.
I know. Yeah, like I said, thank you so much, everyone, for, on top of, like I said in the beginning of the podcast, on top of just receiving these 2 questions, we've actually had people ask us, hey, are you guys coming back with a podcast? Or, like, are you guys, like, doing anything else? Which is very much appreciated, like we said.
It's glad to know that you guys care about us and that you're listening, and that really means a lot to us.
It really does. And, obviously, like, we didn't do this on purpose. Like, it's not like we're ending our blogging or ending our podcasting. We just got really busy in May and just had to do a lot of things.
And we promise that we'll probably have more content coming out for you guys to listen to.
Yes. Yes, exactly. So the first question comes from, I guess I shouldn't read their email. Okay. But they do say their name. Okay, so this first question comes from Jennifer. Thank you, Jennifer.
Hi, Jennifer.
Hi, Jennifer. I just started listening to this podcast, and I really enjoy you two. I just have a quick question. What do you two like to do in your spare time?
Oh, that's really sweet.
Yes.
I'm grinning. Jennifer, if you're listening, thank you so much for submitting the question. That's really sweet. Alyssa, do you want to go first?
Oh, man. Okay, so, I guess we can kind of go back and forth whenever you have something to add, but just off the top of my head, what I like to do in my spare time is I like to run. I like to play volleyball. I also, I like watching TV and movies, but to an extent where I actually like observing kind of like the script and the storyline and kind of like judging and talking about it. Mm-hmm. And as well as I like writing short stories.
Oh, I didn't know you liked writing short stories, actually. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean, it's not something it's not something like I like to publish, but I do enjoy like writing really quick things, like for example, if it was like acted out, it would only take like 10-20 minutes or even like 5 minutes, that type of thing.
Awesome. Yeah. That's really cool. That's actually really cool.
Yes. Go for it.
And you also like to play video games, right?
Oh yeah, and so in my spare time, Jesus,
I like to do this thing called play video games. Oh yeah, me too.
Wow.
For me, Jennifer, if you're listening, I like to do photography. I am an avid photographer. I own 2 Canon cameras, and I like to go out and take photos of landscapes, my friends, everyday life. On top of that, I am really into film production. I like to make little short films with my friends and just stupid, crazy things. Speaking of which, Alyssa and I worked on a film recently. Technically, it's an episode. If you ever, and it also binds into something I also want to talk about too. I like watching shows on Netflix, Stranger Things, and this other show on Netflix called Terrace House, which is a Japanese reality TV show, kind of like Big Brother, but everyone's nice to each other. The first season is set in Tokyo, and then the second season or series,
Boys and Girls in the City.
Yeah, shout out to Boys and Girls in the City. That was set in Tokyo, and then. And then the other series is called Aloha State, which is set in Hawaii. And so my friends and I were watching it one day, and we realized that we should make a parody with our friends. And so I asked Lisa to come on board and help us with the second episode in the series. So if you're on YouTube, check out Terrace House Golden State. That's Terrace House Golden State on YouTube. Lisa and I helped produce it and make it. And yeah, it's a fun little parody on Terrace House on Netflix. So if you have Netflix, definitely check that out too.
Yeah,
definitely. It's a really crazy show overall. Maybe we could talk about that later too on another podcast.
God. Yeah.
Yeah, non video game related, but still, it's a great show. And yeah, I also like to watch movies in my spare time. I try to keep up to date with all the current movies that are out in the theaters, but it's just really hard to since I don't have a lot of free time outside of work.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely. Oh, something to add. I like watching sports. We're from the Bay Area, so my favorite team is the Warriors, and
yeah.
Which, by the way, we just won 2-0.
Yep. Won game 2 today of the finals, NBA finals. So
yes.
2 more games. If we win 2 more games, we win the entire thing. But
I know. But yes, I've been a Warriors fan since I'm really young, and I enjoy watching. Yes, I just enjoy watching sports in general. Cool. And that's another thing I like to do.
For me, I like watching just basketball and baseball. I like to support the SF Giants, the local San Francisco team, as well as the Golden State Warriors, the local Bay Area team. Yeah, that's all I have to say about my extracurricular activities outside of this podcast.
Yes. Same here.
Do we have any more questions?
All right. So this question is actually someone commented on one of the SoundCloud podcasts. So this is from Eric, and Eric is asking, "What is your favorite video game?" That's it.
Man, that's a hard question.
That's just the comment. Thanks, Eric, by the way.
Yeah, thank you, Eric. Hopefully we can answer your question accordingly. I mean, that's a really broad question.
It is a very broad question. Oh God.
That's a very loaded question, Eric. How dare you put us on the spot? No, I'm joking, Eric. Please, no. It's, I gotta say, I don't really have a favorite video game there because there's a lot of things I like about different video games. No video game is perfect, but I will say a game.
How many are you gonna name? Are you gonna name one?
I'm just gonna name one.
I'll try to name one too then.
Yeah, I'm gonna name a game, or I can name a series that resonates with me the most.
I think.
Man.
Oh jeez.
Go ahead. No, say something if you want to say.
No,
something.
I don't know.
I feel like I'm on the spot right now, Eric. Why would you do this?
I don't know. I need like 30 seconds to think about it.
Sure. Okay. I mean, I'll say this. I'll say I resonate a lot with Super Smash Brothers, and I'll say this. I'll say Super Smash Brothers, like all the Super Smash Brothers games, and I'll say this because I have the fondest memories playing with my cousins, especially with my brother, and we always bought Nintendo consoles just to buy Smash Brothers and just to play it together. We've always bought Nintendo consoles and 2 controllers. So we bought the GameCube just to play Melee. We bought the Wii just to play Brawl, and I bought a 3DS just to play the new Smash Brothers. And I was waiting for that for a while. I didn't think it was going to come out when I first bought the 3DS, but I still was expecting it to come out on the 3DS at some point. So, yeah, I mean, Smash Brothers, Nintendo, those two things resonate with me a lot, especially as a child playing Mario Kart, playing just Nintendo games overall is what I think about the most when I think about something that is not really a favorite of mine, but something that I think about a lot as a kid. Thought about a lot as a kid.
That's very nice.
Yeah.
I really like that. So I guess I kind of want to go down that route too. Man, there are a lot of games, and it's like weird. For me, the reason it's difficult is because there's a lot of like within the different genres I play. I can give you a favorite game from each genre, but I wouldn't necessarily say that my favorite game of each one is better than the other because it's just so hard to judge the two. Okay, I'll go that same route. So the game that resonates with me the most is Final Fantasy X. Mm-hmm. And I played Final Fantasy X in high school. I remember everything so vividly. It was high school. It was my spring break. I finished the game in 3 days, which means I barely slept and I didn't eat, and I brought food up to my sister's room at the time. So, because she had a TV in her room.
Aww.
And so I just put the console there and I just played it straight. Like I really like that game a lot. It's so that's probably the first game I played where the story really got to me. And I really appreciated all of the characters and what they had to bring, as well as I like at that time I really liked the turn-based battle system. And just the fact that kind of had to, like, obviously with active battle, sometimes you just keep hacking away.
Yeah.
And this time with the turn base, you had to think a little bit more of a strategy and really observe the tendencies of the person, of the enemy that you're fighting. And I just really think it was a very beautiful game and with a lot of meaning. And I really love the soundtrack. That's probably my favorite soundtrack of any video game. Final Fantasy X as well. Yeah. Nice. And just everything packaged together really affected me in a positive way when I was growing up and when I was in high school. And that's actually the game that really got me into video games more than I was ever before. And I'd always been into video games before, but I think that was the first time I ever played a serious game. So.
Yeah, I think 10 isn't really a game that kids can comprehend.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Like but since you were growing up, you're at that point in your life where you understood complicated stories.
Yeah,
you played a game that had a complicated story and that resonated with you so much that you remembered it for the rest of your life.
Yes, that's exactly what it is. And I really appreciate that game. Like there's a lot of quotes from that game that I still think about to this day when I'm just thinking of life lessons. So
Aww.
Yeah. Yes. I know. So that is what I will say my favorite game is.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Nice. Okay. Hopefully that answers your question, Eric. I mean, we tried our best.
Yes.
And thank you for submitting a question.
Yes, thank you for sending in a question. And that's all the questions we have. Yeah, so I guess this is seriously the first time we ever had questions. So if you have a question, you can just post it on the SoundCloud, like in the comments of the different podcasts, and I get a notification when that happens, and then I'll just read out the answer. Or you can email directly. The email is on my blog. It's triangle.c.blog@gmail.com.
Yep. And hopefully if you guys send in any questions, we'll read it by the end of our next podcast.
Yes, exactly. All right. And I guess that is it in terms of video game related things. A few updates. So what, like we said in the beginning of the podcast, is the first time we ever tried Discord together. So we're going to in the upcoming week, like, work to really get that going and start advertising that a lot more. Oh, and then also you can probably post questions there too on Discord, and we'll read it out.
Yeah, and we're always happy to chat with you guys. If you guys want to play video games with us, just let us know.
Yes.
And we can like make a community around one game or several games. Just we're always open to different ideas.
Definitely. that is all I have in terms of updates. Just stay tuned. June is going to be a better month.
Yeah, definitely.
Yes, and we will have new content coming up very soon.
Yep. Sounds good.
Yes. Anything you have to say?
Beginning of July, we might not have a podcast for that week unless we record one before. I'll be traveling to Japan to live out my Yakuza fantasy. I'll be joining the ranks.
Start a cabaret club. Is that what it's?
Yes.
Is that what?
Yep. I will be joining the ranks of the Omi Alliance for 11 days, and
cool.
I'm going to see how they live and how they act, and how they murder people in the street. No, I'm joking. I really am going to Japan for 11 days. I want to see some spots from the Yakuza series that I've been talking about for a while now. So yeah, I'll be there. So if nothing comes out that week, just know that I will be gone during that week. So
yeah, so
in advance.
Yeah, so what we'll probably do is we'll probably record like 2 podcasts in advance or something to balance it out. Or while Jeremy's gone, I might podcast with someone else at work. So
yeah, sounds good.
Yes, and I guess I don't know what this will entail, but this is since this is the first time we ever had a podcast not at work, there's a lot of possibilities now.
To be honest, I actually like this a lot more.
I like this a lot more too.
Yeah, we could do this whenever we want, and I actually prefer this, Alyssa.
Oh yeah. Same here. Also, what I like, I don't know, I feel more relaxed.
Yeah.
I feel more relaxed doing this because I feel like when I'm at work, we're always worrying about a conference room getting taken away and being too loud. So,
yep.
Yeah,
I'm in my pajamas, I'm just relaxing.
Dude, I know. I'm I'm in my jersey right now. And I have not really changed or done anything since the game.
That's fine. That's fine.
Yes. So
yeah. So that's all I have for this podcast. I think we can end it now.
All right. And yep, we will end it. Thank you for listening to the 9th episode of Downtime Podcast. Thank you so much for your support.
Yeah, thank you guys.
Yes. And good night, and we will see you next week.
Yeah, good night, everyone. See you next time.